Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody? Wait a minute. Is my belt crooked? How's everybody? Thank you for kicking it off, Dusty. Said Book of Serpents, 4-2, a last dying. She heathenry is that of a serpent's tongue, forked and duplicitous, that blends the venom of lies with some truth, slither on the belly of wretched wickedness, you silly. But thank you so much. You and these little verses. Ramadan Kareem, how is everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well today. We have got to talk about it today, okay? Oh, the snatch is real. The snatch is real on the waist. Y'all know. I be working on my my figure. A girl gotta watch her figure. Although, interestingly enough, sometimes in Ramadan you don't lose, you gain. That's weird. I don't know if other Muslims experience that, because even when it's time to break fast, I don't eat a lot of food. As the month goes on, you don't be hungry, or at least I don't, and I can't tolerate a lot of food anyways after so many days of fasting. But you know, a girl still gotta be fit, feminine, and friendly. She still gotta be that. Thank you, Phoenix. Said long time, first time. You keep me going on my truck route. Love you. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. Thank you so much, Phoenix. Thank you so much for the contributions early on. I really, really appreciate it. We are going to talk about this R. Kelly situation because, okay, everybody know what went down. Oh, you finally got your book, Miss Tamika. Yay! I hope you enjoy it, sweetheart. I really, really do. We're going to have to catch up. I'm going to have to call you because you've been a whole ghost out here in these streets. Everybody knows R. Kelly's, especially if he was in Chicago, his escapades, his rumored and alleged escapades. You heard about them whether you were had firsthand knowledge of any of it, or it was rumors. You heard about this stuff starting in the 90s, okay? R. Kelly got big in the 90s, and he was grown in the 90s. I mean, he was a young man, but he was grown in the 90s. And so it was always like Chicago legend. Whether you had it solidified as something you knew or just something that you heard, we always knew. It wasn't odd for him and his entourage to pull up to a high school. It wasn't odd for his entourage to pull up to like Kenwood or something, right? Everybody knew that he had a penchant for teenage girls. Okay. So if he's 22, 23, he come pick up a 16-year-old or something like that. Now, interestingly enough, that wasn't odd. He only stuck out because he was R. Kelly. Truth be told, that was a lot of girls in 90s in high school. If you were 16 or 17, your boyfriend wasn't in school. He was probably like 20 or 21 or 22. Okay. Now, but the span between a 17-year-old and a 20 or 21-year-old isn't that big. So I don't really see nothing wrong with that. If she's 17 and he's 21, that ain't nothing but like a 4-year spread. That's not so old over her that it become creepy. It's old enough that she like him because he's not in high school. He's considered a grown man, but he's a young man. So I had men when I was 16, 17, they would be in their early 30s hitting on me right out of the high school. Like I would be having on my book bag and everything. Okay. And he would be 31, 32. I would ask, how old are you? Oh, I'm 30. Oh, I'm 29. Oh, I'm 27. Oh, I'm 32. And you're pretty, right? You're pretty. And I like you. How old are you? And I wasn't one to lie about my age. I'm 17. I'm 16. Oh, you pretty. You know, you pretty or whatever. And I got used to that. Older men liked me where the younger boys didn't. So that wasn't too odd. One of my best friends in high school, when we were like 17, her boyfriend was like 21, 22, something like that, in his early 20s. That's just a few years older than her. He had a little car. He was a grown man. He had his own spot. He had a job. He had a car. And he liked her. They eventually ended up getting married as well, out of high school. And her parents knew she was dating him, you know, and all of that good stuff. So that wasn't necessarily odd. Okay. Um, my apologies. Yeah, I had to. Y'all was sneezing, y'all. Anyway, you don't want to do that on camera. So older men was always hitting on the 16, 17, 18-year-old girls in high school. The older men just did it. The young men did it. If he would be considered a man, a grown man. In his early 20s, they would pull up to the high schools, get the seniors, get the juniors, senior, junior girls. And thank you, Pharaoh. So remember, I'm 26 and like you, right? And us as girls, we didn't see that as odd, and we didn't think it was gross. We didn't think that was gross. We thought of them guys as just a little older than us. He just grown. Girls have always liked older men. That's typically the way of it. We don't like men younger than us. We act like them older than us because they represent stability. Okay, they represent stability. So we didn't see that as odd. I wouldn't have had a problem dating a man. And when I was 17, I wouldn't have had a problem dating like a 22 or 23-year-old man. Now, my daddy would have had a problem with it, but I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I didn't see them as gross. I didn't see those men as gross men. I'm a fully developed female. At 17, I got all the stuff I got right now. All the stuff I got right now, I had that at 17. I had that at 17, and it was all there. Boom, pow. It was all there. All of it. Okay? Every last inch of it was there at 17. So it wasn't like I was some little itty bitty kid who could be attracted. No. I was biologically grown. And all of the girls was having sex anyway. Sex is sex. You get pregnant the same way if he's 16 or if he's 22. You get pregnant the same way. It's the same thing going on. It's the same thing going on. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? The reason I'm saying it is to give people who are not in Chicago or who are young the context of a Gen Xer in school. We had a whole different dynamic going on when we was in school. Okay. All right. And R. Kelly was around during that dynamic. Everybody understood, whether it was rumor or fact, what the rumors and stuff was about R. Kelly. So when I read you a leaked text message between that Azriel girl and her mom, I want y'all to keep this context in mind. Okay? Keep the context in mind. There's a reason her mother is telling her what she's telling her. And this is why I say the black women are worse than R. Kelly, because if you think he's trafficking, why you send your daughter to him? Okay, text messages between R. Kelly's ex-girlfriend when she was 16 and her mother. Sit on his lap, entice him. This is a part of it. I told you, you better look pretty. I'm not there yet. Girl, I know you need to start listening to me, okay? I'm going to try. LMAO. Fix your hair right. Make sure your lips shiny. Put on eyeliners and fix your hair. Make it the side. It looks so much prettier. I would blow him little kisses and wink at him and bite the top of my finger, mess with him real good, do something seductive, then make a silly face. Then at the bottom say, I believe you, be prepared to sing 3 songs. He said he will meet you and listen to your song. Please have your glasses off, hair to the side. Mama knows best. Pretty hurts and third, your choice. Don't yell, put on a show. Dance, grab his hand, shimmy, wiggle, sit on his lap, entice him while singing. It's all about performance. This your chance and opportunity. Okay. This go a little bit more into it. A transcript of text between R. Kelly's 16-year-old girlfriend and her mother was released, where the mother tells her daughter to entice and arouse him. The new documents have also caused upset reactions on Twitter. In the new transcript released through social media on April the 10th, it shows his 16-year-old ex-girlfriend's mother texting the daughter and telling her to entice Kelly when she met him. And this little thing say, come on, Chicago. Evidence has surfaced of text messages where Azriel Clary's mother, Alice Clary, is proven to have groomed and trafficked her daughter to extort and blackmail R. Kelly, who was the star witness in the trial, and she told her to lie about her age. In the documents, text messages between Kelly's ex-girlfriend Azriel Clary and her mother Alice are revealed. Messages that include fix your hair right, make sure your lips shiny, and do something seductive, then make a silly face were in the documents. Another case of an underage girl who engaged in sexual acts with Kelly involved his former goddaughter, who testified in 2022. She revealed she had sexual relationship when she was 15. The new documents caused many reactions from users on Twitter, which mostly shamed Kelly and his victims and their parents. One user simply said the victims' parents should be charged for luring them to Kelly, and one user tweeted that everybody needs to be locked up for their role in the crimes, which parents included. A supporter of Kelly defended him in a comment section, while one user called Kelly fans P-files for saying he wasn't guilty. A third installment of Surviving R. Kelly, titled The Final Chapter, has premiered on January 3rd on Lifetime and highlighted the legal fallout. In other news, Kelly's inmate account was also drained due to paying back his victims. He was also sentenced to 20 years on February 23rd for child P charges. Okay. R. Kelly paid victims over $300,000 after jail balance was seized. Disgraced singer R. Kelly was ordered to pay over $300,000 to 2 victims who testified against him in September of 2022. One victim was paid $300,000 to cover therapy and herpes treatment, while the other victim was given $8,000 to cover psychological and herpes treatment. Why one? So why was that? That's a big jump. Anyway, you know what? Never mind. Survivor R. Kelly final chapter premiere makes its way to Lifetime, right? Okay, so now they have a whole the 3. I've never watched any of them, by the way. Okay, as the singer begins to serve his recent 30-year sentence in prison, Lifetime is premiering its 3rd and final part to the infamous documentary the disgraced singer's manager impulsively attempted to avoid. The film will be surrounding R. Kelly's sordid sexual history and controversies. The survivors were worried that they were not going to be heard or believed. One of the producers, Jesse Daniels, said to Variety during an interview, they were, as they've said, shouting into the wind. R. Kelly, according to court documents obtained by SOHH, was convicted on June 29, 2022. Following 6 weeks of trial, a federal jury in Brooklyn convicted Kelly of all 9 counts of a superseding indictment charging him with racketeering predicated on criminal conduct, including sexual exploitation of children, forced labor, and Mann Act violations involving the coercion and transportation of women and girls in interstate commerce to engage in illegal sexual activity. So now I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. Thank you, Eugene. Said, so the mother was telling her daughter to entice R. Kelly. The mother told her to trap his thirst. Yes. Thank you, T&M. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. Greatly appreciated. So it's a lot, in my opinion, it's a lot of lies and embellishments mixed in with some truth about what was going on with R. Kelly. I think it was a lot of embellishment, though. A lot of embellishment in these stories. Here's the thing that we have to understand, okay? First, let's talk about the mother and the coaching of the girl, okay? I want y'all to listen to that. She's coaching her daughter on how to entice a grown man. Okay? That you later will get on a camera and snot and cry and act like you trying to bring her home, and that somehow she got abducted from you, or that something else went on behind your back or under your nose. So we've got a mother, supposedly a mother, coaching a daughter how to entice him. You know his alleged history. This is why I gave you the framework before, because everybody understands the alleged history of R. Kelly. Everybody know that. It's been known. It's been that way. It's been that way. So even on the alleged rumors of it all, why would a mother be trying to tell her 16-year-old daughter to go over to a man that you feel or that you have heard is predatory on teenage girls? So you sent your daughter to the meat grinder, talking about she got talent, he going to listen to your songs. So this is for you. This is why we going to get back on the sisterhood. Because this is why I don't like y'all. Because a lot of times women are initiated into the sisterhood as girls through trauma that they mamas inflict on them. A lot of times, sisterhood, women who grew up in the sisterhood as hyenas, you are inducted into the hyena clan through trauma coming from your mom. And this is what I be talking about, because the hyena does not only traumatize the son, and it's not like she loved the daughter. It's not like she loved her daughter. A lot of times hyenas do not have good relationships with their mothers. They'll take up for their mamas because they learn the sisterhood code. They don't actually rock with their mama, and their mama don't rock with them. Hyenas are damaging all around. Nobody is actually spared from the trouble that a hyena will cause. Okay? Alice Clary is not a one-off. This is what I really want to get to. Thank you, Miss Bella. Alice Clary is not a one-off in this situation. All right? She is one in a long line stretching from the 90s of mothers, whether they single or not, grooming their daughters because it wasn't nothing bigger than R. Kelly in the 90s, and especially in terms of a music producer. And R. Kelly would make his way still around the hood. Okay? R. Kelly would be seen in the streets of Chicago. So he wasn't an untouchable celebrity. No matter how big he got. R. Kelly wasn't necessarily untouchable. Especially in the 90s. He was still coming around. You could still spot R. Kelly in a store. Like you could. And so his perceived accessibility in tandem with his success, not only as a performing artist, but also as a producer, is what had a lot of these older chicks pimping out us as Gen Xers. And I believe that this girl's mama, Alice, is a Gen Xer. Probably missed her chance, wasn't nowhere around R. Kelly, couldn't get to him. So now she's gonna do this vicariously through her daughter. So a lot of these black mothers are guilty of pimping out their daughters. Let's talk about that. Guilty of pimping out their daughters. As they open their mouths on one side to get in front of a camera, to get on social media and point fingers and cry about how predatory black men are sexually on younger girls, these are the same women that put these girls in the face of the men who actually would be predatory on them. So a lot of times, the R. Kellys of the world are not doing this in hidden from the mothers. They're doing it with her blessing. Okay? His access to teenage girls often came through their mother, not in spite of their mother, and not behind her back. Thank you, Dusty. Said Book of Columns 100. It was prophesied that 100,000 pairs of ears will hear her wisdom as they sat between the columns of liberation. Her voice reverberated through these great halls, and the lamp she holds is the lamp of truth. Thank you so much, Dusty. Thank you, sweetheart. It's actually very poetic. Okay? So what we got here is a lot of volunteers, not a lot of victims. Not a lot of victims, but a lot of volunteers. Thank you, BBB. So Pink Blessings did a video of a young girl and her mama on a casting couch. Her mom was grooming her to reshoot a scene. Shameful. Exactly. Just like a long time ago, I did a video of, a woman, and she was grooming her daughter for a ghetto gagger session. Just sitting there, she held her daughter's head as the dudes were, doing all of these sex acts to her. Like she was holding her daughter as it was happening. Thank you, Dallas actress. That puts me in the mind of John the Baptist story. Daughter give king a lap dance. King grants her one wish. Mama asks for the head of John the Baptist. Yeah. You talking about the story of Salome? So these women are out here trafficking and pimping and hoeing out their daughters for their own personal gain. We're going to talk about it. And then they want to be victims when the jig is up. But before we keep going, I'm going to stop for this commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
What should I feed the kids? When should I feed the kids? And where am I going to feed all of these kids during my child's birthday party? We understand that planning a child's birthday party can be stressful for parents. That is, unless you hire Gamer versus Gamer. That's because every party package, starting from our standard package to our premium packages, includes cupcakes, ice cream cups, hot pizza, unlimited popcorn and drinks, and all the necessary plates, napkins, and flatware. You see, after 10 years of party planning, our expertise has taught us how, when, and which foods to serve so that it doesn't interfere with the flow of the party. Plus, parents get the added bonus of having Gamer versus Gamer feed and clean up after the kids, all from inside our 30-foot climate-controlled celebration trailer. This makes it easy and stress-free for you. Plus, your home can stay clean and kid-free. Parents simply just need to invite the guests and relax.
Gamer versus Gamer.
Gamer versus Gamer. We look forward to treating your child like the most important kid in the world on their birthday.
Hi, Gamer versus Gamer. Thank you so much for my birthday party.
This show is being brought to you by the wonderful people at Gamer versus Gamer. These people are such consummate professionals in the way in which they handle children's birthday parties. And it's such a wonderful thing, such a wonderful experience that parents who want to give their children an elaborate party, but you don't really want the headache of the party. You certainly don't want the cleanup of the party. You don't want to have to go through figuring out all of the details and all of the different things and all of the logistics. Where is the party going to be held? Do I need to rent a space? Is my space big enough? Blah, blah, blah. All of these different things. Well, the wonderful thing about all of that is that Gamer versus Gamer takes care of all of those details. And all that you as a parent have to do is click the link at the top of the chat, gamerversusgamer.com. Take a look at the packages that they offer and then give them a call so that you can really speak with them to get all of the details sorted out, including the price quote. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing that this company is doing for family and inclusive of the family value, because we really do value our children. We really do want to create memories for them that they can carry on into their adulthood. So if you or anyone that you know with children, with birthdays coming up, and you are in the Atlanta metropolitan area, then you want to click the link at the top of the chat, gamerversusgamer.com. Go ahead and take a look at their website. Take a look at the packages and bundles that they offer. Give them a call. Do yourself a favor and write your children that love letter on their birthday. All right? Before we get back started, I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to because we have 444 awesome people who have hit the like button. Let's see if we can get the other 500 or so people to hit the like button as well, so we can make our way into the algorithm. Let's get to these super chats. Thank you so much, Jay Rock said R. Kelly didn't have herpes. One of the accusers that accused him did not have herpes. Faith Rogers' mother said he tried to give it to her. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you once again, Dusty. It's a book of columns 101. Her first occupation was that of a healer. Some of these sicknesses are invisible. Unbeknownst to this doctor, she does not know how many she has healed and will continue to for eons and ages. Thank you so much. You're very sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Denise. You know what? Thank you so much. Miss Denise said, enjoying my book. Great read. So much wisdom put forward. Knowledge not to be overlooked. Pray we Black women take heed and reclaim our feminine. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that endorsement. It's awesome. Let's get back to this. Because like I said, I never watched any of the surviving R. Kellys. I never watched them. But y'all remember Sparkle, the singer that was working with R. Kelly? And she did a couple of songs with him, a couple by herself. Remember her? 2 years ago, promises was all I heard. Wait a minute, let me finish. 2 years ago, promises was all I heard. Out of your mouth. Did a whole album. She did a couple songs with him. Did an album. I like Sparkle's little songs. But she was up there admitting that she had groomed a family member of hers. I believe it was her little cousin or her niece, one of them. I can't remember if it was her cousin or her niece. And she was the inroad to R. Kelly for them. Now, you've been working with R. Kelly. He been producing. You know he hit. Because that's what R. Kelly gonna do. You know, if you get up in there, in that studio, okay, it was her niece. Thank you, Carl. It was her niece. Thank you, Keith. So you was helping to groom your niece. Because there's no way that you are around R. Kelly, whether you and him had relations or not, which I believe that they did. You know who he is. You get the vibe. You get the feeling about what he's on and what he's about. Why would you ever? Sparkle's grown. Sparkle was grown. So we ain't talking about her. But why would you ever introduce your teenage niece into his circle for any reason? See, black women, y'all do the most. Y'all are the real predators of the community. Y'all feed and funnel and protect the male predators in the community. Because how many black families have that cousin or that uncle that everybody knows be messing with the kids? And because it's Big Mama's brother, or because he's somebody's brother, he's somebody's son, he's somebody's nephew, this, that, and the third, you protect that dude from the justice of maybe the other men in the family, or you don't tell the men about that. That be a secret among the women. And the most you will do is you'll try to keep, at a little gathering, don't let the kids go over there and sit on his lap. That's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough. This is why y'all started not wanting the men around in the houses and stuff like that, because you was protecting these predators and you participated in it. See, in my book, if you participate, you just as bad as them. If you protect them, you just as bad as them. If you are an apologist for predators, you're just as bad as them. You're just as bad. Sacrificing your kids up to them, you just as bad or worse. So you are sitting here, Alice Clary is sitting here telling her daughter how to entice, sit on his lap, do this and that, because you know he has a penchant for teenage girls. You know he has that. So you want her to trap him with that thing that he has a penchant for. And you want to use it for your own personal gain, because if he put her on, guess who gonna get the money? Because she underage. So guess who gonna be trying to be her pimp / manager? If he managed to put the girl on, and she blow up, you gonna get the money for being her momager / her pimp. And that be what that is the motivation for most of them chicks when they was dealing with R. Kelly and sending their daughters to him. Because he was R. Kelly, he gonna put her on. If the girl got talent, he gonna make her a hit. But he going before she get in that studio. And you know that. You know that's what he's gonna do, which is why you're not protecting her. See, this is why I don't like the sisterhood, because y'all be talking out both sides of your mouth. One side of your mouth, you gotta protect black women, and you gotta, respect black women, and but y'all be the main one exploit black women, and especially at her most vulnerable, when she's a girl, and when she's listening to you, and when she's following you as her mother. You exploit her first. You exploit her before she could get to R. Kelly, because you served her up on a silver platter. Then you wanted to get on a camera with your husband. I don't know where his backbone was at. You want to get in front of a camera with your husband after your daughter done got on there and lied, as if she was lying and trying to cover up for what was going on in front of the news people or whatever. Then you want to say, I just want her to come home. You sit over there. Oh, did it get out of your control? Were you unable to control the dynamics of the situation once you sent your daughter over there? Was that it? You thought you was going to be able to control everything that went on because that was your daughter, and lo and behold, control was snatched from you? And then she was isolated from you, and then you didn't know what was going on. So now you want to holler and cry about what is happening? Thank you again, Dusty said, Book of Sacrifice 69. Thine has taken a pure lamb and sacrificed it to a fiendish heathen. Shall be condemned to threefold hellfires as one serves as a conduit in the disgusting and perverse rites of passage. Thank you so much. exploit her first. This is why I don't like the sisterhood, because the ingratiation into the sisterhood come with a trauma that typically come from a mother. And nobody wants to talk about the black mother. Nobody want to talk about her. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, sweetheart. Say, hey, Kay, hey. She must have stopped getting some money. See, they all want to cry wolf when the money stop, when the bag stop, when the bag dry up. Now we can talk about the morality or the lack of morality in the situation. Now we can talk about that. Thank you, Theo. Thank you so much, sweetheart. See, the problem with it is that these types of women, whether they single mothers or not, this is why I didn't say single mothers, because this particular one was married. And this is what happens when you are wearing the pants in your relationship, when you done, this is an old school word. See, your youngins might not know about being henpecked. My old school, my Gen X's and older, we know about that. That's what we used to call a simp. We didn't say simp. We say he was henpecked. This is what happened when you henpeck a man or you don't have a man around. These women will traffic their daughters sexually for personal gain. And it doesn't matter if it's traumatic to the daughter or not. It don't matter to these hyenas. These hyenas do not care. These hyenas do not care if what they do traumatizes, degrades, breaks down, humiliates the daughters. Thank you, Rob. Said many of these same women are slaying rappers and ballers every day with child support as a business. Yeah, these are the same women. And these are also the same women that once the jig is up, once the bag stops, once the cover is torn off, once the layers are peeled back, these women will then claim innocence, they'll claim ignorance, and then they'll claim victimhood, and then they'll just blame the man because it's easy to do that and claim they didn't know nothing about how it went down. But when you start trying to add up the story, the math don't be mathing. Well, how did she get to know R. Kelly? Where were you when? You understand? Where were you at when he was doing X, Y, and Z to her? Did she have contact with you? Yeah, well, she called me. Well, were you able to see her? Well, yeah, we seen her a couple times. Well, why didn't you keep her at home? If she's a minor and she came home, why didn't you keep her at home? Why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you alert some authority as to what was going on? Why didn't you keep ringing the alarm? Where was your antennas when he was making her, from what she say, eat feces and all this other kind of craziness? When he giving folks golden showers, where was your antennas? Thank you again, Dusty. Said henpecked, pronounced henpecked, defined as castrated by a wayward fowl. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what henpecked is. Thank you so much. And that's when you got them all on Surviving R. Kelly like they were not volunteers to this whole entire situation. See, he's not the only one guilty. He's not the only one guilty. These women who volunteer for that, guilty. The only ones that you could say was led astray was the girls. You 15, 16, you following what your mama say. Them the only ones that I can give some type of, I can give them the benefit of the doubt with that. But these grown ones, 20, 30, 40 years old, you don't get no grace. None. Thank you, Lewis, said Leviticus 19:29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Hyenas will destroy men, children, even this whole nation. Exactly. Thank you so much. And thank you, Jeffrey, said focus on the meal ticket, not the harmful acts. Thank you. And thank you again, J Rock, said the reason why they are doing this to R. Kelly is because his music catalog is worth $1.5 billion. They done drained that man. See, R. Kelly's case to me is convoluted a little bit. Because on the one end, he's being railroaded as a black man. And he's being railroaded as an artist and a producer. See, R. Kelly was not very savvy, not the sharpest knife in the box, okay? Musical genius, but not very sharp. So it was very easy for different people around him to take advantage of him. If you ever listen to R. Kelly in an interview or anything like that, he's very childlike. I suspect that his mental and emotional development probably stopped as a teenager, and it stopped at whatever age he was when he got, SA'd by the women in his family. So oftentimes when you experience trauma, your emotional and mental development will stunt at the point of trauma. So while he was chronologically getting older, mentally and emotionally, he was a teenager, which is why he liked them teenage girls. Because he actually had stuff in common with them. He thought like they did. He had emotional reaction akin to a teenage boy. Even though, despite the fact that he was way grown man, R. Kelly's in his 50s right now. Okay? But mentally, R. Kelly's like 16 years old. If you ever listen to him talk, R. Kelly is emotionally and like he's emotionally stunted. Okay. So he does not, I'm saying that to say he don't really have the wherewithal to put together this elaborate trafficking thing. He don't have that. He don't have that. R. Kelly want to get in the studio and sing, and R. Kelly want to be around them girls. That's what R. Kelly want to do and chill. He's not the type that's going to look after his money. He's not a savvy businessman. He does not own his masters and things of that nature. Okay? So it's easy to get that money away from him and get his wealth away from him because he's not savvy. He's broke now. Okay? His music catalog, he will never be able to get somewhere and be celebrated now for his musical prowess and musical genius because of this sordid scandals that have plagued him his whole career. Because if R. Kelly owned his music, he wouldn't be broke. Okay? If R. Kelly owned his music, he wouldn't be broke. But R. Kelly is broke. He's had a lot of thieves around him, folks getting money off of him and stuff like that, because he was not of the mindset to look after his business. He just was going. He just was doing the work of the performer, doing the work of an artist, doing the work of a producer. Now, I don't know what his money is from the production side, but I know from the artistic side, he don't own those masters. Okay, he does not own that stuff. So it's easy to get him broke. All right, it's easy to get that stuff away from him. So in one sense, you could see the railroad that's actually happening with him. The part that taints the water is that he's not innocent, though. He does have a penchant for young girls. He was dealing with them young girls. Video evidence of it when they were minors. And that's the thing that stops you from being able to really defend him. Had they been completely trumped up charges, yeah, we be defending R. Kelly. Like, no, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Because he ain't doing nothing. If the women were women at the time, that would be different. Even if the age span was long as they 18 or the age of consent, you really can't say nothing legally. You can think it's morally wrong, but you can't say nothing legally, right? But that's the problem. That's part of the problem. Thank you, J. Rock. So there's a copyright law that was introduced in 1978 that as of 2013, the rights of the producer and songwriters will be returned to those songwriters. Thank you so much once again, J. Rock. Right? So he's functioning. He doesn't read very well. So you know he wasn't reading them contracts. He was having somebody else read them. You know, just take care for me. You know, he wasn't interested in the business side. He was the creative. And he was only the creative. But he wasn't the businessman. Okay? So that's the problem with R. Kelly. You see the railroad. You see what the judicial system is doing to him. They trumping up a lot of other stuff on top of it. So that's what I mean by the embellishments, right? All the different kind of charges and the racketeering charge, racketeering and, all that other kind of stuff. But because he's not completely innocent of those accusations, you can't really do nothing about it. And so they're stripping him of everything. Like I said, he'll never have a lifetime achievement award granted to him where everybody gets to go through the catalog of his music. Because R. Kelly got some bangers. His production was almost better than the songs he put out for himself. The songs he wrote and the stuff that he produced for other people. So he ain't gonna never get that. He's not ever gonna get that recognition ever. Because of these scandals, because he was convicted, because he's a convict in a jailbird now, you're not gonna get that stuff. Okay? So they got him between a rock and a hard place. And that's why they was able to go ahead and convict him. And then you had a lot of the girls that was being paid to say certain things, embellish certain things, be the star witness, blah, 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 blah. So you have a lot against them. Whether it was lies or not, it was a lot piled up. Yep, R. Kelly brought Ron Isley to the younger generation. See, us as Gen X's, we grew up because our parents liked the Isley brothers. So I always knew about the Isley brothers, liked the Isley brothers. But R. Kelly brought him back as Mr. Big. Okay, for the younger generation, the millennials and stuff, that may not have been as familiar with the Isley Brothers. Now they was familiar with the Ron Isley and Isley Brothers. Okay, which is why everybody enjoyed that. Even the younger generation enjoyed that verses between Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers. And they was like, oh, he really is Mr. Big, because he showed up a whole zaddy. He showed up as Mr. Big. That was too funny. Okay. Drifting on a memory. Don't get me started. Ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. See, don't play with me. Don't play. I love me some Isley Brothers now. Day will make a way for night. All we need is candlelight and a song. Y'all know. Yeah. Soft and long. Well. Okay, don't even let me get started with that. I will get started. I will give y'all a whole little show at the end of the show. Anyway. The sisterhood code. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to start wrapping it up. The sisterhood code demands the sacrifice. I want the women to listen closely, especially the younger women. This is why you shouldn't be in the sisterhood, okay? I don't care what kind of little male identified mammy they like to call you names, call you pick me. Do not be part of the sisterhood. I want my younger sisters to listen very closely to me. Okay? The sisterhood code demands the sacrifice of every other black woman, no matter who she is, even the daughter. They talk a good game about women's empowerment and uplifting black women and helping black women and doing this for black women and protecting black women and loving black women and caring about black women. They talk that game, but the reality is that to become part of the sisterhood, you will be sacrificed as a black woman, especially when you are a girl, when your mother has control and influence and sway over the things that you do. Oftentimes, the road into the sisterhood is traumatic for the girl before she reaches adulthood. This is why we don't mess with the sisterhood of hyenas. This is why it's like that. They don't like each other. They don't rock with each other because they traumatized by each other. Trauma is that they all trauma bonded. This is not love. When you trauma bonded, that's not a real relationship. That's not actually love. There's nothing healthy about it. They trauma bonds with each other. Real or imagined trauma, doesn't matter. And that's what's going on with the sisterhood. That's why I don't rock with them. Thank you again, Dallas actor saying The Godfather Michael Corleone asked a politician for a favor. Politician said no. Next scene with politician, you wake up in a bed with a deceased prostitute, consequences of sexual perversion. Exactly. He was real compliant after that because he was talking big in that office, baby, about how he wasn't going to do it. and how he was a senator, and how he wanted such and such percentage, and what he wasn't going to be tied to, and how Michael wasn't going to do this and Michael wasn't going to do that. I love me some Godfather. Shout out to my dad, because my dad loved Godfather too. That's how I ended up liking Godfather. And once I got older and I understood what it was, I said, oh, I like Godfather. Thank you, Randy. I can sit up and watch me some Godfather now. You can pick it apart. It's got a lot of stuff in it. The sisterhood is not about loving black women. They do not love each other. They do not love no black women. Furthermore, let me say this as well. Lionesses are not black women to the sisterhood. Let me repeat that. Lionesses are not deemed women to the sisterhood. We are not deemed as black women to them. We are some kind of abomination and aberration to them. This is why they could use that woman's picture in the thumbnail to get her husband to come up to that panel, because she's not a woman to them. So therefore, she's fair game. Lionesses are not women. We are not black women to the sisterhood. We are not worthy. We are nothing to them. We are absolute trash to them. We are just as much trash to them as they are to us. Okay? So this is why I draw the line in the sand, and really I chisel it into stone between a lioness and a hyena, because we will never be sisters and we will never be friends. I don't like hyenas. I bite them. They know that. If they can get enough of them together, they'll try to bite me. And any other lioness. They think that we are stupid. They think we are dim-witted. They think that we don't have backbones. They think that we don't have brains. All because we are feminine and we take the followership position underneath leadership. They do not see us as women. And we are the first to be sacrificed. If you are a young lioness and your mama happened to be a hyena, you had it hard. If you were a young lioness that happened to be raised by a hyena and she suspected that you were a lioness, something in her hyena soul trembled because you a lioness, she tried to break you. You didn't have a good time with her. You did not have a good time with her. She's going to try to break you. You're going to break you down. Because you're a lioness. She see that power. She see that femininity in you. She see it. She can smell it. Try to get it out of you. Try to traumatize you out of it. Because we be lionesses in our soul. Just like they be hyenas in theirs. And it don't matter if we grew up hard or if I grew up a tomboy. I had a lot of masculine energy. But I was a lioness all up and down. And here, I was a lioness. And my mama couldn't understand me either. So Tracy is speaking facts in the chat. I don't get you. They never do. Because we not of they kind. We not they same species. That's why they don't get us. And then they don't like us. Because they don't get us. And especially if we don't fold on a lot of the core hyena values. We don't fold to those. We don't bow to those. That's when we really start getting it. Oh, you ain't going to be part of the sisterhood, huh? Okay. Lionesses have a very hard time under the tutelage of a hyena. Okay. So, I just wanted to bring up this whole thing with black women being worse than R. Kelly, the grooming to give to somebody that you believe or that you know or that you have heard is a predator. You're just feeding your kids over to them. I wanted to just bring a lot of awareness to that. I also want to bring awareness to the fact that you can go right now to crimsoncure.com and you can get your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, okay, on sale now on my website, crimsoncure.com. The link for the Amazon is there as well. If you bought, okay, a little bit PSA, if you bought the Amazon version way back when I first did it and it's not a good looking version of it, there is an update available, but you have to go through Amazon customer service to get it, because what they end up doing is either helping you do an update or they'll escalate the situation for you so that your version of that book can be updated. But there is an updated version. Now, at this time, the Kindle version looks just like this version of the book as well. Okay. So I wanted to bring that to you. Thank everyone for your generous contribution. I definitely Letters to a Young Lioness would be a great Patreon series. You know what? I'm going to write that down because it would be. I think it would help. Thank you so much, Miss C, for that idea. So if I start doing this concept, thank C for it. Because it's her idea. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. I want to thank you for your contributions. Let me see if I had any cash apps. Thank you, Lockett. Thank you so much for your contribution. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming through, for chatting with me, for engaging with me. You all have a great rest of your day, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.